You are listening to Making It, the path to beauty industry greatness with Canvas Me, where we go behind the scenes to explore the human side of beauty professionals, learn how they found balance in their lives, overcame obstacles, and created communities that transcend the ordinary. Hosted by Canvas Me co-founders Jen and Matt Martinelli alongside Canvas Me directors April and Megan, Making It is your guide to navigating the ever-evolving world of beauty.
Welcome to Making It, your backstage pass to beauty. I'm April, and today we're diving into the world of sustainable beauty with Danielle Johnson, founder of the Green Beauty Community and the Salon Chair Guys. From eco-friendly beauty practices to restoring vintage barber chairs, Danielle's expertise spans across the industry. The Green Beauty Community is a platform dedicated to connecting individuals and brands who share a passion for sustainable beauty. Stay tuned as he shares insights and tips on making an impact in your own practices. So, Danielle, we're super excited to have you here. And, we love to always start off with, do you feel like you've made it?
No. That would be the quick answer. I'm definitely no. Only because I feel like there's so much more potential that's in the green beauty community. I feel like myself, I'm just now really entering into this professional sector of the beauty industry. And I feel like I have so much more work to do. We began as just a salon equipment repair company in San Diego. Me and my father fixed salon chairs, upcycled salon furniture. We restored antique barber chairs. And from there, coming into the professional beauty industry and seeing exactly how everything works, it just really kind of energized me because I realized I finally had an opportunity to make a difference and contribute to the industry. So I have a lot more work to do.
Yeah. How cool. So take me a little bit back. So you started with refurbishing barbershop chairs. Is that correct?
Yes, here in San Diego. They actually, thank you. We take barber chairs are from like 1888, 1920s, and we would restore them, redo the chrome, redo the powder coat porcelain, the upholstery, fix any mechanical problems, and give them probably another 100 plus years of life. And that's kind of really where my journey into sustainability started, because my dad just did not like the fact that all this really good equipment just went to waste as soon as, it broke down.
Yeah.
And so, that's kind of how this all began and how my story.
That's actually pretty incredible. I mean, honestly, sometimes we always say that, things that were made a long time ago seem to, remain more intact longer than what we see nowadays. That a lot of things are more kind of a quick use and they break down. And that's actually pretty incredible. So I love that this is kind of the birth of how you kind of got into sustainability for the beauty industry.
Well, thank you. It was my dad's vision. He always said he wanted to leave a legacy behind. And me being a kid, I just thought maybe he wanted a statue or a painting or something. But now that I'm older, I realize he just really wanted to build a path that I didn't have to walk.
Yeah.
As far as he had to walk to get to where he wanted to get to. He wanted to make it a little bit easier on me. And now I appreciate that greatly. And if it wasn't for his vision, I don't think I would be here talking with you today.
Wow, that's incredible. So walk us through a little bit about how Green Beauty Community started.
Well, it actually started about 3 years ago in Scottsdale at the PBA Executive Summit. I was a guest of Green Circle Salons, and it was a really great experience. I got a chance to meet some really awesome people in the industry, people who are making changes daily. And at the end of the event, I had a dinner that was Shane Price was there, and Will Simpson, Paul Tate, Kate Harrison from K18. It was a lot of us, and also Sydney Berry. And we were brainstorming on what an organization in the beauty industry would look like that could champion sustainability but remain brand agnostic. And so that's where the idea really started. I think Will threw out some ideas about creating a guidebook and checklists, and You know, it was really inspirational, and it was my first opportunity to be in that setting.
Sure.
You know, I am just a salon furniture mechanic, basically a handyman. And to find myself in a room with executives making those decisions, I was very honored to be there. And I really took that to heart, and also saw it as an opportunity for me to maybe define my place in the beauty industry.
Yeah. And it almost must have been like a moment of kind of hearing your father, right? Kind of making something of yourself. And it must have been one of those surreal moments of like, how did I get here? This is quite amazing that, yeah, this door is opening to making a change.
Definitely. My father was a hairstylist. He owned a hair salon and a barbershop, West Coast Beauty, here in San Diego. Um, and he did that for about 20 years before he retired and decided that he wanted to repair equipment just to stay in the industry. Um, he had videos and, like I have these old 80s videos of him, teaching how to do these outdated hairstyles. And like he really took it seriously, and he really worked hard to be a part of the beauty industry. And as a young kid growing up in a hair salon, doing neutralizers, working with like Hawaiian Silky and Wet Nouveau and all these old brands, taking curlers out. Like I really watched him build and come up with a product line on his own. And for me, that was like my roadmap that he had kind of implanted in my head without even really telling me what to do. I knew somehow my life was going to go down that path. I just
Sure. Isn't it crazy? So I grew up with a family beauty salon myself in the 80s. So I ended up being in an 80s commercial at some point, but I don't know where to find those archives, to be honest. But I don't know if I want those to surface. Yeah.
it was so embarrassing back then.
It was just the styles were just a completely different, different things.
I had a curly top. I think it was um, some sort of texture.
Yeah.
I'm currently bald. So,
So, well, how funny. Well, we know that there are some challenges salon face when they're trying to become more of a sustainable salon. What are some challenges that you often hear?
well, the first challenge I hear is considering implementing a green fee. I hear a lot of salons, and even in our surveys, when members join the community, they're reluctant to discuss adding a green fee to their clients. I know the topic of raising prices has always been a contentious one in the industry, but I feel like the communication of why it's there, what it's for, what it supports. Um, I think there's a marketing opportunity there that salons can really incorporate sustainability into their ethos, into their operations, include their staff, include their customers, and really make it part of their brand identity. Um, and I think we're all aware now that the world is shifting. We are all concerned about our future and our children's future. You feel frustrated and you feel like there's really nothing you can do. I think the best thing we can do is to find those little things and just implement them slowly but surely. So I would say a green fee would be number one thing I hear. Retaining staff.
Hmm.
A lot of the students that are coming out of beauty school now, one of their top three concerns is the environment. And here in San Diego, it's almost impossible to retain staff if you're not implementing some sort of sustainability plan or sustainability roadmap as a salon and even barbershop spas. So I think really embracing sustainability as a business model, one that doesn't have to be painful, that you don't have to buy all these products. You don't have to invest in all these technologies. Once you get more advanced, it becomes easier and you can. But at the beginning, you could just unplug your hot tools, unplug your Wi-Fi, decide how are you going to get back and forth to work, whether you take public transportation, if you're close enough, take a bike. But it's all these little steps that compound together that really start to build your journey, and it's unique to you. So don't worry about when you're going to get there. Just know if you take those steps, you will get there. And of course, there's all these amazing technologies when it comes to energy management and color management, even recycling. So there's plenty there for you down the road. As long as you take those first steps now, you'll get to where you're going.
And sure, that's like with anything, right? It's just taking that first step, right? And I love that you just shared some really easy things that you could implement right away and getting your team on board, but also recognizing that these younger generations that are coming into the workforce and in the industry, this is a big topic, and they are seeking salons that really implement these practices because it is one of the biggest values they are looking for. And oftentimes, I am talking to salons of, you want to make sure that you're marketing that you are a sustainable salon or moving into that direction, and that it is a focus, because that's going to make your salon a more desirable place for people who want to, work for you. They're seeking places like this. And it's just so important that, like I said, I love that those are such easy things that even I didn't even think of right away, right? Unplug your hot tools at night. You could just start today of just implementing that with the team.
I really think small steps is the key. And that's one thing that we tried to build into the Green Beauty community is it doesn't matter where you are on your sustainable journey. If you're just peeking your head in the door or you're a zero waste salon, there's no judgment. No one's going to tell you need to do this. No one's going to criticize you for, having a shop vac, but then also recycling. Just come, figure it out, work your own plan, let it be individual to you and your staff and your salon, and grow with it. That's all we ask, because we can't let perfection be the enemy of progress. And we need a paradigm shift in this sector when it comes to sustainability and beauty. So there's less people gatekeeping and more people being more acceptable and bringing you in. And that's what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see those hurdles of, a lot of hairstylists are perfectionist, right? So right at the gate, they're trying to do all of it, which, is it's not attainable right from the get-go. And it does take a lot of, time, dedication, and building up habits and things like that, and really training employees to get on board. So knowing that it is a long game rather than just implement and rip the Band-Aid off today is one of the best, I think, suggestions you provided of just like, take one step at a time. You'll get there. Yeah.
Definitely. For me, there's kind of a pattern I think that would be easier. So start with the cost savings first. Let's implement some sort of water head, shower head, like eco heads that can reduce your water and reduce your water bill. And then maybe technology to reduce your color waste. So it's some sort of scale that you can use. There's several really good companies for that. And then, so now you have a plus, you're saving some money. Now you can maybe move on to some of the more costly programs that are out there that can help you recycle your waste, but it didn't really hurt you in your pocket. And I think that's one of the biggest hurdles that we need to get past. Is sustainability has always been kind of, it's like, what do I need to pay for now? Like, what else do I need to buy? And no one likes feeling that way. And in your personal life, your business life, like, oh, one more expense.
Right.
And so, trying to map it out with intention, I think, is the best way to be able to commit to it and be able to stick with it in the long run. And we hopefully we provide those resources where you can read through our articles, and we have our guidebook now that can allow you to be able to absorb the information at your time, on your time, at your own speed. And don't worry about keeping up with the Joneses. No one's going to shame you. Just come on in. The water's fine.
For sure. Tell me a little bit about this handbook.
So, in partnership with Pivot Point International, we created the Green Beauty Community Guidebook, and it's kind of our first piece of tangible documentation that we can give to the beauty industry on how to be more sustainable in your salons, spas, barbershops, and et cetera. So it's really just, we aggregated all the information that we could find. I think that's one of the biggest hurdles. Another big hurdle is that the information's everywhere. It's all in these different places. You got to look here to find this. And if you don't know where to look, you won't be able to really find a complete resource. And so we want to solve that problem. And so we worked with other partners and we came together and created this guidebook for the industry. And hopefully it serves as a valuable resource. I'm really proud of the fact. I'm gonna do some bragging really quickly, but I'm really proud of the fact that we worked with Pivot Point because they have a reach that is ridiculous. They have over 100,000 students, and that means the students who are in schools now around the world will be able to have access to sustainable beauty information right now. And for me, that is very special. And it just makes me feel like I've contributed something. Even if I stop right now, I contributed something.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you should be, and that is an incredible accomplishment to have at this point. So, what do you think is the biggest shift we'll see when it comes to sustainability within the salons over the next 5 years? Especially now that you've just implemented this handbook, I feel like it's going to have this long-term effect.
We're kind of going. It ties into one of our previous questions. I think new hires are going to demand some sort of sustainability program. I think that is going to be the future. Of course, there's new technologies, and there's like AI sorting now with recycling, and so it's making that more efficient. And of course, there's other technologies that are constantly coming out to help streamline us on. But really, between government regulations that are coming and new students who are demanding it, the future is going to be sustainable.
Yeah.
It's kind of my hot take on it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think this is where, it's really important that salons recognize this. And, in a world where everything's so changing incredibly fast, even in this industry, right? We all know that 5 years ago is so different from now, and 5 years from today is going to be completely different as well. But I do think this is one of the fastest growing developments that salons are really going to need to focus in on to really kind of stand out and really market to new hires, retain employees, having that focus of, hey, we're looking at things in the bigger picture, and that we want to also make our impact on the world as well while we're doing beauty. And that, I think you've touched on some great points of that everybody's welcome to this. Right? It's not, you have to be a zero waste salon in order to be considered sustainable. And I think that that's one of the biggest messages here, and that maybe a lot of salon owners aren't aware of.
Definitely. I mean, there's the word sustainable is kind of elusive because you can never be sustainable while you're consuming resources. But what we can strive to be is more sustainable. And I think that's the goal, And so working hard at it, staying dedicated, doing it with intention is, in my opinion, the best way to make the change. And I think if we can incrementally get, more and more people on board, then the change will compound and we'll see our industry actually make an impact. So.
Amazing. So I think you've sort of answered this question, but, what is Green Beauty Community's purpose and their long-term goals?
Well, our long-term goals are to simply just be a resource for the industry, to be here when you need us, maybe to help shepherd some people through their transition. Myself and the other co-founders, we have Jacqueline and Maisie and Hannah. They're all stylists. Two of them have salons. And we talk all the time about like, where are we going from here? We're trying to take baby steps because we want to make sure we do this right. Um, but I think our future, we just want to be of service. And that's what we're working towards, to make sure that we can implement different things into the Green Beauty community. Like, we just added a directory, so now our members can be found in their local search area when you are looking for maybe a sustainable salon or some eco-friendly salon. And we're going to continue to do things like that just to build the community out. We're going to make the community an app, so you can communicate better in our forums. You'll get push notifications, so you can actually build friendships and talk to each other. So we're really looking towards just making this world a little bit smaller. We're trying to.
I love that. That's fantastic. So I do remember you telling a story on a total different side conversation, and I'm just curious if you could touch upon that. Is there someone in your team that goes around and picks up garbage around salons? Or there was someone, yeah, you want to share that?
There's actually two of them, Maisie Haidman and Hannah Craig, and they call themselves two trashy redheads. And so what the odd thing was, so when I decided I wanted to take the leap and build a community, I contacted Hannah and said, "Hey, I see what you're doing on your channel, Salon Environment. She's taking trash on her own, and I mean, she had a garage full of trash, hair trash that she was, recycling on herself." And she said, "Sure, I'm on board." And I went to a Sustainable Salon Summit in Dallas by Kelly Swing. And that's where I kind of got the inspiration to get started. And I met someone named Maisie Haidman, who is another one of our co-founders. And she inspired me because I realized there were so many people around the country that are doing the right things daily, but they'll never get the press. They'll never get the articles. And that's what we need to do. We need to champion the salons and the stylists and the barbers who are doing the right thing daily. Not because it's going to make them famous, but because it's just the right thing to do. And so I told Hannah about Maisie, and then Hannah said, "Well, me and Maisie have been working for the last year writing content just for this occasion." And I was like, "Oh, well, you have the content. I can build a platform. We can bring our resources together." And then Jacqueline, of course, she focuses on clean beauty, and so she came on board. But that's kind of how all this started. But yes, both of them are very passionate about recycling and using your local recycling, to be able to add money to your salon in case you're in an area that's not serviceable by one of the large.
Sure, sure. And there's probably so many people across the country that are doing this just like them. And I love that you collaborated with them and created this platform where you can shed some light onto, those humans that are doing the right things. They are focusing on sustainability and taking the time, and that has to be a tremendous undertaking of taking on other people's and into their own garage and sorting it for them and all of this stuff. I mean, those are just some remarkable humans that you have on your team.
Thank you. And we realize that, having this passion can be lonely sometimes. Even my own family, like, they'll see me washing my trash or making sure I'm separating. It's like, "What are you doing?" uh, I haven't quite gotten to them yet, but everyone's in their own space. I respect that. But we realize it can be lonely. And so building a community can help support and encourage. And so that's kind of why we set out to do it. So we can bring us all together, so we can say, "Hey, you know what? I got your back. I understand what you're going through. You're not crazy for diving in dumpsters trying to separate your trash at the end of the day because your salon won't do it on its own. You care, and there's other people who care, and we want to bring you in to meet them." So that's kind of, the gumbo we have going on with the Green Beauty community.
That's amazing. Well, any last takeaways or any stories you would like to share with our audience?
I'm not quite sure. I just want to thank you for the opportunity to share our story. And so far, this has been quite a journey, and I look forward to it continuing. And thanks for everyone who's assisted us along the way. This is turning out to be something special, and I'm deeply humbled and grateful to be a part of it. So,
Well, you're very welcome, Daniel. And thank you so much for your time. And thank you for building a community and a resource place for the industry to go to learn more about what they can do and have an impact on sustainability. We greatly appreciate you.
thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Making It, the path to beauty industry greatness with Canvas Me. Our mission is to give you a voice, help you find your place of belonging, and empower you to thrive in this beautiful industry. We hope you found inspiration and valuable insights that will fuel your own journey in your career. Head over to canvasme.com and unlock the next chapter of your beauty journey. Create your portfolio, showcase your unique talents, and connect with a community that understands and celebrates your story. Subscribe to Making It for more inspiring stories, and let's continue making it together.